Alright, welcome to part 3 on the Kawasaki Kx125 from 1989. A little recap of last video if you guys missed it. Basically, we got this thing running pretty good and cleaned up really nice. Painted the pipe, got the silencer all cleaned up, put the new fixed manifold on here. There was a huge air leak before. Fixed all that, idle's nice, and we ended up taking it for a ride. And unfortunately, it bogs really bad right when you let off the clutch. In first gear, it bogs going forward, and then once you get up into high RPMs, it bogs really bad. It kind of like breaks up. So to me, it sounds like it's really lean, not getting enough fuel. We messed with some of the carburetor settings and made it more lean, and I think that made it worse. So I think it is running lean. I think we determined that. We checked the spark plug. Spark plug's good, brand new, replaced that. It's got good spark. The reeds are good. Looked at those. Has very high compression of 175. And then we also checked the crank seal over on the left hand side of the bike. Underneath here, took that off, sprayed some carb cleaner behind here to see if it would idle down when it was running, and that looked good. We checked the power valves. Those look good. They're opening and closing the way they're supposed to. We changed the float height in the carburetor a couple times. That didn't do anything. And then we ran it without the air filter, and that also did not do anything. The only thing we did not check yet was the right side crank seal, which is, I think you have to split the cases to get to it. But that's right behind the clutch cover right here. So we're probably gonna be checking that today. I got some new oil for this thing. This takes 0.7 liters. We got some new oil. And then I'm gonna try replacing the carburetor on it just to see if something's wrong with the carburetor. You know, it could just be not working properly and I'm overlooking something. So we're gonna take a carburetor off of the 1996 Kx125 over there and swap it over. All right, we'll quick start it up for comparison. Alright, so you can hear it idles nicely and runs pretty good, but that top end power is just not there. So let's swap up the carburetor and see if that does anything. Alright, here are the two carburetors. This one is from the 1986 Kx125. This is from the 1989. This is the one we're working with right now. You can see the diameter of this right here is a little bit smaller than this one. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to use this one. Which is a bummer because we could have just put this right on there and rejetted this to make it work. I'm gonna look for a carburetor here quick in my pile of used carburetors and just see if I can find one that matches this. Alright, here's the other carburetor I found. I don't know what bike this is from, but it's got the same diameter for the intake and the same diameter right there. So this would have worked, but I don't have the slide for it. And this is a flat one, and then from the 1986, the slide is way too small, so of course that doesn't work either. Alright, after looking a little bit more, I found a slide that's going to work for this carburetor. So let's clean this guy out and get this working properly, and then slap it on here, see what happens. Oh, well this sucks. I was just about to put the slide in, but unfortunately, it goes in the wrong way, so the only way it can go in is this way, and that's the wrong way. The cutout end needs to be towards the intake right here. So that's not gonna work, unfortunately. I cleaned out the carburetor and everything, and oh man, that sucks. So back to the original carburetor. Gotta figure out what's wrong with that, I guess. Alright, after further inspection of the original carburetor, I think I found out why it was leaking gas. You know, it wasn't leaking when I was doing testing without the bowl, but this little thing right here, this is when the gas reaches that point, it flows out the overflow. That little guy was cracked in there, like a very small hairline crack, and it was like bending up like that. So I just cut it off the rest of the way. I think we're just gonna plug that hole up for now. But yeah, that's what was causing it to leak. So that would make sense. Yeah, that wasn't good. So we'll see if we can repair that and slap it back on there. Alright, original carburetor is back on there. Hopefully it holds gas. I put a little bit of super glue down that hole just to clog it up for the time being until I can order up a new carburetor, which I'll probably have to do. They're like $100 or more. So we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna work or not. It holds fuel, but the fuel's shooting up through it, so I think the flow height's set wrong, but we're just gonna start it up and see if it sounds better. Alright, still doing the same thing. I don't know what that is. We're going to try the needle position. We're going to put that clip down a bit and make that richer. See what happens. Alright, so we had this needle in the second to top position, which would make the bike more lean, because as you put that clip in the upper position, it moves the needle down further because it sits further down in the surface. So it moves the needle down, allowing less fuel to come in. So that would make it more lean. Let's move the clip all the way down to the bottom notch and see what happens. We're gonna move it all the way down to that notch right there. Alright, carburetor doesn't leak anymore. I reset the float height, and now we've got the needle in the lowest position on the clip. So let's see what happens here. Hopefully it sounds better. I'm gonna go try to take it for a little rip, see what happens here. Alright, nothing changed, took it for a ride, and still does that. So, I'm thinking it's not the carburetor. We tried every single setting you could possibly set on the carburetor. I tried different jet sizes. I've tried the clip position, I've tried the float height, and nothing changes it. I've tried riding with the choke on, nothing changes it. I've tried changing the plug like 3 times, nothing changes it. So, let's just inspect this thing. I saw some fluid on the top end, so maybe it does have a head gasket leak. See if we can find any fluid coming out. Let me look with my light here. Is that looks wet. Ah, look at right here. I don't know if that's something right there, but look at all that moisture right there. I don't know if you guys can see it or not. It's hard. My flashlight went out, but there's some moisture. Look how wet that is right there. Huh. Yeah. Look at, there's dry coolant right here too. Look at that powder. So and look at the moisture coming through right there. See how it's kind of glistening? See that right here? It's kind of like a little glisten to it. That's moisture coming through. Oh yeah, look at all this dry powder around here. That's coolant that dried. Yeah, I think the head gasket's blown. Let me look a little bit further down here. Oh, yep. That is fluid for sure. Look at my finger. Yeah. Alright, let's get this coolant drained out of here. Got a little container right here. Is that the one with the... I think it is. Very blue looking. Put that guy back in. There's the coolant. Pretty blue. All right, I think we gotta get the pipe off. Yeah, let's get the pipe off. That's holding up, by the way. We repaired that last video. No oil's leaking anywhere, so that's good. This is left over from before, but yeah, that's looking pretty good. All right, we got the seat off, the pipe off, everything's off here. I've got access to the head, and we can kind of see in here. Oh yeah, look at the fluid right there. You can see the wetness right here. Oh, look, what's that right there? That's coolant. Oh, and look. It's coming down right there. Making a pool of it. Yeah, that head gasket's definitely blown. Or it's leaking, I should say. Alright, let's get this off of here. Alright, got the gas tank off. Makes it a little easier to access the head here. We gotta get these bolts off right here. So let's get those off quick. Try get that out of the way. Alright, now these guys come off. That's a little bit bigger. Oof. You can see the head looks pretty good. The gasket so it's leaking over here. Kind of a close-up of the gasket. You can see it was leaking right here, so there's really no imperfections on the gasket right there. It's pretty crusty though. I mean, it's pretty crappy feeling. Maybe the surface wasn't flat right there. Maybe it was coming in from down here and not on the upper part. Yeah, you can see it's all stuck. So hopefully they sell these gaskets still before I rip this apart. I'm sure somebody has one for sale somewhere. Yeah, it's really stuck on there. I know that. So it's been on there for a while. Ooh. As you can see, it just came off like that. Cylinder wall. Oh man, is that smooth. That's really nice. I figured it would be because of the high compression. It's really smooth in there. You can see the power valves right here. So I'm looking at the Kip's power valve system here, and this power valve is in here, but there's not one over here. I took out the little gear thing here. These were in there, these two. This cap was just like this though. Wasn't really sitting on anything. And then this was in here like this. So that was in there, but there should be another power valve that goes into here. And that is just missing. So, I don't know, that's really weird. It's supposed to look like this. It's supposed to be that one right there. It's supposed to be that one right there. So we've got that piece right there, that one, but we don't have this one right here. It looks like the guy just took that one out and then put the cap over it. So very strange. We've got to take out the middle one too. But yeah, I thought that was really, really strange. And then this one's not even like locked in. So this one's like really, see how loose that is in there? That's supposed to be like in the gear. Not supposed to be like that. So we're gonna get this system out of here. Here's the middle one right here. We gotta loosen that up and then take that out in order to get this rod out of here, because this rod is what moves these power valves. Alright, so I got the power valve out on the other side. You can see the teeth are just shredded on it. So worn down completely. This is the one that went right in here. Like that. And it's missing this one right here. It's supposed to have an identical one to this that goes right in here. And then what's supposed to happen is this other little gear, like this guy, goes right in here, like that. But it was completely missing this one right here. So that was not good. We got the little middle piece out that was sitting right here. That kind of gets pushed in with an O-ring. like that. And that's another power valve right there. And these all have to go in a certain way, otherwise they won't align. And then this rod right here, see how it has 3 different teeth on it, 3 different sets of teeth? That gets pushed in like this into here. As that pulls out, it rotates these gears like that and opens up and closes those power valves. But because these teeth are worn, it wasn't catching and opening those. See? It's completely ground down. So we've got to find some new power valves. The middle one looks good, but the 2 main ones that go right here are bad. So it looks like to get this power valve out, I want to check the teeth on this one. We do have to take off the cylinder. So let's get the cylinder off. It doesn't clear the frame right here, that's why. Base gasket broke as well. Awesome. So we need a new base gasket too. Piston looks pretty new. There's a hot rods crank in it too. So it was. Little side to side play. No up and down, so that's good. Yeah. Crank is good. Whew. Piston looks good. Couple nicks right here. Couple nicks in the top. Nothing too crazy. Yeah, it doesn't look too bad in there. About this side here. Yeah, that side looks good. Cylinder looks really smooth. Yeah, no imperfections in the cylinder at all. That's good. Alright, so this is the little guy we're after right here. This should pull right out. That's interesting. This bolt right here actually goes down into there. You can see the teeth on that are still good. It kind of sits in there like that. And then this rod, that rod goes over it and moves it like that. What it looks like on the inside. And then this thing kind of moves. see it down there. Alright, got all the parts laid out here. So basically all we need is 2 power valves, a head gasket, and a base gasket, and we should be good to go. So I'm gonna look online, see if we can find something. I'm guessing it's gonna be around $200 just for the power valves, and then another probably like $40 for the gaskets. So probably like $250 around there in total for parts. But we'll have a nice running bike, and we won't have to worry about anything. We got the carburetor fixed up here. It stopped leaking, so that's awesome. I think if we fix those things, this bike will be good to go. But yeah, good thing I took off the head here because it was leaking coolant. That kind of led us to the power valve situation. I would not have found that if I did not take off the head. I figured the power valves were working because they were opening and closing, or at least the actuating arm was moving. So I just kind of figured it was, you know, working the way it should, but unfortunately it was not. That's probably why I had like 0 power. Like it was bad riding it. You know, like going off in the first gear, it was barely moving. So I'm thinking that was the problem, along with that leaking head gasket. All right, so I looked on eBay for some power valves. Unfortunately, there's like 0 for sale. There's a guy that makes a couple new ones. I think he's from Europe. He makes new ones. There's a forum about it where a guy was looking for some, and this guy ended up making a bunch. So he makes them for like the KDX, the KX, and some other bike. I think the Kx500 as well. And he makes all these power valves. They're brand new. I just messaged him on eBay, so we're gonna see if we can get some brand new ones from him. I think he makes them for $89. I know he's got some listed on eBay right now for $88 and $90. So I'm hoping he can make some for $89. They're around $180. All right, let's get to this oil. I think we got her. Pretty gray coming out of there. Definitely needed an oil change. Let that drain for a bit and add some new oil. Alright, got a new crush washer on here. Reinstall that. Alright. I think that might be the guy replying for eBay for the power valves. That would be awesome. But, alright, so we're putting in 0.7 liters, which is 700 milliliters. So right up to here. Alright, oil change is done. Alright, so the guy got back to me about the power valves. His name on eBay is CZMO18. If you guys want to look him up and buy a set. He said, "Hi, thanks for your interest. For Kx125 1989 are very similar but a little different than the 1988s. If you need it, I can manufacture it for you. Price is same, 180 USD by set. Manufacturing time plus or minus 1 month." So it's going to take quite a bit of time to get here, unfortunately. But I guess it's worth the wait because there's really nothing available. The only other option is we sell the bike as it is, but I'd rather just do it right. Order these up, order a top and gasket kit, and put it back together and ride this thing because I really want to ride it. I bet you it's pretty fast for 125. So I think we're just gonna go ahead and purchase these and wait a month and see what happens. I was just playing with the pipe and this piece came out of it. Looks like a piece of the power valve. I'm guessing this is the piece for the other side. So we can see that this is the one, and I think that was for the other side. That was in the pipe. So I don't know if the whole power valve went through the pipe, but that thing got hot. Just melted all together. Look at that. That's crazy. So anyway guys, thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing. Hopefully you learned something new on this video, and if your bike bogs, check the power valves and the head gasket, because it just might be both. Until next time, we are out.